Those of you joining me for the first time, I'm Prunella Harris, licensed clinical social worker and founder of Restorative Family Services. You are tuning into Rise and Reset. Hello, hello. When you guys get on in the room, say hello. I'm just going to update my audio. Good morning, Chantel, and congratulations. You are our $5, Amazon e-gift card winner. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, it looks like I'm looking at the timestamps. It looks like not only is Chantel the winner, but so is Kim Spencer and Famar. So all of you win our $5 Amazon e-gift card. So congratulations to the three of you, Chantel, Famar, and Kim Spencer. I'm just taking notes. All right. So today, good morning, Judith. Thanks so much for getting up with me. Today I have a head cold, so I might sound a little nasally today. So bear with me. Yep. So yes. Oh, Chantel picked up on it right away. Yes. But hopefully I'm getting over that. I hate being sick. I'm not the best sick person. So today we are talking about social anxiety, and this is perfect timing because school is about to start. I don't know about you guys or wherever you're listening from, but some schools have already started. I know my nieces in Atlanta are already starting this week. So this is great timing for this topic. And social anxiety is one of those things that impacts everyone, not just school age children, but adults. So everyone can learn from this. All right. So, for those of you who are coming back, who have already been vibing and riding with me, thank you so much for your support. I'm here every Tuesday at 7:30 a.m. covering topics of mental health and wellness and providing encouragement. So, thank you so much for being a part of my tribe. All right. So if you could do me a favor and tag and share any this information with anyone who you think might benefit, that would be great. We want to try to get this message out as far reaching as possible. All right. Each one teach one. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. So I want to talk to you a little bit about social anxiety today. Um, Social anxiety is the fear and worry that you will have some type of performance failure, or you're not going to measure up in social situations, so you avoid them. And I can tell you, as a clinician, one of the things that I work on with individuals who experience anxiety is to get them out there, to get them comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because uh, the more you avoid anxiety, the bigger the bully gets. We call it the anxiety bully. It's like this big fear of the unknown, fear of what could happen, right? Because your thoughts are more powerful than you give credit to. So when you think something is going to go wrong, you focus on that, and there may not be any evidence ever that has ever happened, but it's an irrational fear. So what we try to do as clinicians is push people past that fear and just get them uncomfortable, and get them comfortable with being excuse me, being uncomfortable, because it just gets in the way of you living life, especially the life that you deserve to live. When you have severe social anxiety, it affects your day to day, make it difficult for you to do um, commonplace activities such as maybe talking with your coworkers, just the fear that you might say something, they may judge you harshly. Buying groceries could be, a big one. I know I have a lot of clients who I've treated with social anxiety who would go to the supermarket at certain times when they knew that it wasn't a lot of people in there and they can get their groceries and get out of there. um, Eating in public might be another thing that it gets in the way. Attending classes at school, maybe there's too many people in the classroom, and it just gets in the way of you living the life that you deserve to live. So we're going to talk about how we can identify it, what the signs are, and then how we can manage it. All right, I see some new people have joined us. Thanks, Chantel. Chantel says, feel better. I love my tribe. Thank you so much. Kita, Good morning, Keita. Keita Travis Travels Hudson is joining us. Thank you so much for joining. I love it when I see uh, new members to our tribe joining. So uh, thank you for getting up this early, Keita. All right. So one of the things I want to talk to you about is the signs of what that looks like, so you guys can identify it. Maybe you might be able to identify it in yourself or a loved one. All right. So let's see what those signs are. Here are the signs of anxiety, social anxiety, because this is a very specific um, category of anxiety. Some of the signs are fear of situations in which you may be judged negatively. So that could be an interview, that could be just an introduction to a friend, that could be, going into a situation for the first time where you don't know anyone. So, an intense fear of situations in which you may be judged negatively, the worry about embarrassing or humiliating yourself. So this ruminating thought that somehow somewhere you're going to mess up, say something stupid to the handsome guy or the pretty girl. You're going to embarrass yourself in some kind of way. Next is intense fear of interacting or talking with strangers. So, people you're not familiar with, it can be very uncomfortable striking up a conversation with someone who you don't know. Fear that others will notice that you look anxious. So, it's not just that, but now, okay, now people understand that I look anxious and I got to get out of here. So, that can be debilitating, and that can really keep you from taking that risk and engaging with other people. So let's talk about what we can do about that. Um, I see Daisy Matthews is watching. Hello, Daisy. Thanks for joining. All right. I love new members of the tribe. Welcome, welcome. Um, so let me just get on down. One of the things, and I'm gonna go over today. Won't be too long of a live, but I want to just get a feel as to where you are with this. Is this a topic that you've seen before? If you've seen any of the symptoms that I talked about, I want you to type one, whether yourself or someone else. Have you had any experience with social anxiety? Do you know anyone who has dealt with social anxiety? Type a one if you have. I want to see who has experience with social anxiety out there. Okay. Keita, thank you so much. Keita gave me a one up there. Great. All right, Kim Spencer. All right. So some of you have had some experiences. Okay, so this is starting to sound familiar. Jenny. Hello, Jenny. Jenny Bagudi is watching. Hi, Jenny. All right, so good. So you guys have a starting point. Okay. Feel free to ask any questions that you have from your experiences, things that you have just been wondering about, and we'll try to get those answered. Um, all right. So let's go ahead and get to what we can do about it. Now that we know what it looks like and what the cause is behind it, now we can figure out how we manage. All right. So we're gonna go over 5 ways. There we go. We're going to go over 5 ways to manage social anxiety. All right. So this will at least give you some starting points. Now, my first way is always going to be to get a mental health team, because some of this is having someone to hold you accountable, but also having someone who can do assessment as you're going through this assessment and treatment recommendations as you're going through this process. So always linking up with the mental health professional is going to be better for you, and it's going to give you the results that you're looking for and ensure that you can conquer that. And I say a mental health team because um, when you have, it depends on the range. So, anxiety is one of those disorders that can be managed effectively without medication, but depending on the severity, it might be helpful to start with some psychotropic medications to at least get you on a playing field so that you can do talk therapy. sometimes the anxiety has gone so far, and that anxiety bully is so big that your paranomic system, your sweating, or your heart is palpitating, and it just feels as if you are going to have a crisis. So sometimes it might make sense to calm the body sensations so that you can have the other members of your brain on deck to be able to obtain the information you get from the therapist. So, mental health team, and that can range from just a therapist, depending on the severity, a therapist, and or a psychiatrist or nutritionist or a naturopathic doctor. There are lots of herbs and supplements that you can use to help calm the body so that you can be very effective. So, number one tip is to connect with a mental health team. Okay. And make sure you have a good support system in place. All right. Number two. All right. So, number two is make a list. Make a list of all your worry thoughts, right? Because you're going to be like an investigator. You're going to be like an anxiety detective, right? You want to know about your anxiety, your social anxiety. So you want to make a list of all your worry thoughts. And then you're going to pick them apart. What is the percentage of this actually happening? Because a lot of times we ruminate and obsess about possibilities that are very low of happening, the very low percentage of being reality. But we make it as if it is. And so that anxiety bully gets so big, and it just takes on more and more of our lives. So really start to look at it. Look at your anxiety, not as if it is this big, massive thing, but something that you can study. Make it separate from who you are, your identity, and start making a list and doing some record keeping as to what are the percentage of this actually happening. What are the percentages of it not happening, right? So, for example, I may embarrass myself. What's the percentage of that happening? Have I done this often? Are people judging me harshly every time I say hello to them? Is this a 90%, 50%, 10%? Oh, it only happened that one time in band camp 10 years ago, never happened since. And I met many people since. So what are what is the reality of this actually happening? Another example is, I may mess up. Well, what's the likelihood that you do that? How often do you make mistakes? I mean, in this area that you're an expert in, do you get it right more than you get it wrong? If you get it wrong, what can happen? All right, so really taking your thoughts and challenging those. I see something in the comments. I say, okay, it says, Kim, thanks for the comment. It says, I'm still learning to support a family member. Googling busy times, Googling busy time at public places is helpful. Building a team is a great idea. What happens when the anxious person is resistant to the idea of a therapist or team? So you got to meet people where they are. Maybe they're not ready because the therapist will be a new person, right? So sometimes it might help, like these types of things might help if you introduce them to what therapy looks like, and probably, hey, you know what, there's a podcast, or there is a live session that you can just watch and get some tips, and as those tips become more helpful, then maybe you can take it to the next level. But you want to be patient with them and not push them further than they're ready to move, because then that will cause them to regress. um, but if they're willing to take small baby steps, encourage them to do that. Maybe some self-help books might be helpful. Maybe someplace where they could be safe, maybe a recording or something like that could help. And then gradually get them confident. When they start seeing success, then want to take it to the next step, next level. Very great question, Cam. Thank you for that. And it actually is going to talk to some of the things that I have next. Okay. So number three, in dealing with social anxiety, is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, and I talked a little bit about this earlier, is you want to challenge when you have anxiety, it can take on more and more of your life. So, for example, if you get into a car accident and it's important for you to get back out there as quickly as possible, because what happens is you start to have flashbacks and ruminate, and you start to question your ability to drive. And so you stay away from the car. The longer you stay away from the car, the harder it is to get out there again, because anxiety has grown. That anxiety bully has really gotten stronger with all the fear and worry that you have provided it and fed it. But if you get back out there, you have another opportunity to say, okay, well, you know what? I drove today and nothing happened. And then the next day I drove again today and nothing happened. And so now you're building up that confidence because you have evidence that, hey, yes, the accident happened, but I have a history of being a safe driver. I have a history of doing it and keeping safe and watching and avoiding these things. All right. Sometimes accidents are out of our control. All right. But the key is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, because anxiety will take on more and more of your life the more you avoid it. So avoidance is never the answer. We have to get out there. We have to challenge ourselves. So if you are challenged by um, going out in public, or um, being around a crowded a lot of people, then you take baby steps. So maybe you would give yourself a challenge to say, okay, this week I'm going to say hi to 5 people I don't know. Just walking past them I'm going to smile and say hi. If saying hi is too much, I'm just going to smile and see what they do. And then I'm going to journal it. And then next week, I'm going to actually say hi. I'm going to say hi to the person at the grocery store. I'm going to say hi to the person at the dealer, the auto dealer. I'm going to say hi to the person at school. I'm going to say hi to the bus driver. But I'm going to check off that list. And then next week, I'm going to keep challenging myself. I'm going to check out a book. I'm going to go up to the book counter and I'm going to say, hi, I would like to take these books out. And I'm going to do that, 3 times this week. But whatever it is, challenge yourself. One of the things that I would give my clients would be, hey, why don't you order something on the phone? And we would start with them, taking, putting an order in over the phone, whether it's a pizza order or ordering supplies, whatever it is, but doing that over the phone so they got comfortable. And then after they got comfortable with doing that, every time they went out to the restaurant, order something, talk to the waiter or waitress, looking them in the eye, making sure that they got comfortable with being uncomfortable. All right, give me a thumbs up if this is making sense. Getting comfortable and challenging yourself through that. Because the thing is just to keep doing it. Even if you're scared, it's just to keep getting out there and not allowing the anxiety bully to take over more and more of your life. So I'm hoping that makes sense. All right. Thanks, Kim. I got a thumbs up from Kim. Thank you so much. All right. The number 4, thanks, Jenny. All right. So number 4, this is going to be hard because getting comfortable with being uncomfortable is scary as all is scary as mess. So what you want to do is you want to know that, hey, I'm about to go into this battle. I need to be prepared. I need to have some things in my toolbox, some skills that I can do, because I'm going to be challenging myself, because I am going to be operating in discomfort. I need strategies to manage my anxiety. Thanks, Keita. I need strategies to manage my anxiety. Let me just make sure I have that down. Oops. Okay, so the strategies are going to be important, and I want you to practice these strategies before you actually need them. So they're going to be instinctual. So you're going to need to practice this like every day, right before bed. Maybe do there are lots of things you can choose, and it all strategies don't work for the same person. So finding what works for you. Deep breathing strategies, does that work for you? Grounding techniques, that's when you use all your senses to ground you in the moment, right? Because our anxiety is usually triggered by thinking about the future, what could happen in the future, or what has happened in the past, but it's never in the moment. So, grounding techniques, and you can Google some grounding techniques that you can use, where you use all five of your senses. I like the 5 4 3 2 1 method, where you use all five of your senses, your sight, taste, smell, to orient you into the here and now. Touch, um, and sight are all five of your senses. You can also use some calming music, to calm yourself down. Meditation helps, other mindfulness techniques. So, really getting a toolbox of things that you can do when you are uncomfortable, when your body is just in overdrive and overreactive, where your mind is racing, where your heart is beating faster. What are those go to strategies? Um, I like deep breathing because it allows you a moment to think. Any strategy you do, I want you to couple it with deep breathing. So always have like a deep breathing strategy, and then you can implement the next one. So it's kind of like stacking your coping strategies. All right. So always stack whatever strategy, whether it's grounding, mindfulness, meditation, progressive muscle relaxation, exercise. Do that with deep breathing. So you're going to start it off with a few reps. I say start with 5. If you need more, go up from there in increments of 5. All right. All right. So number 5, which is my last tip in managing social anxiety, would be to serve and volunteer. See, a lot of times when we have social anxiety, we think that the spotlight is on us. We think that everybody is looking at our mistakes and, scrutinizing us, and we put the focus on us. But when we can do a good deed for other people, it has so many, it's an umbrella effect because it covers so many things. It gets us out there into the community doing something great publicly, but it takes the focus off of our own insecurities, and we're actually doing something good for someone else. And it makes us feel good and confident. And confidence actually deals with the underlying problem of anxiety, which is feeling of inadequacy. You know, when you're confident, you don't worry about messing up. You don't worry about embarrassing yourself when you're confident. So it has, when you serve and volunteer and make it about someone else and not yourself, it has so many benefits. So when we can get to that point, and it doesn't have to be us serving in a way where there's a lot of people, like a soup kitchen might be a big step for someone with social anxiety. So you can serve by volunteering at you can serve by volunteering at a pet, the SPCA, or um, an adoption agency, or you can decide to make telephone calls for the American Heart Association. So there are different volunteer opportunities that you can do based on where you are in managing your social anxiety. All right. So I'm going to leave you with those 5 tips. I'm going to recap for you guys real quick. All right. So, when dealing with social anxiety, I want you to get a mental health team. Make sure you have a therapist who can support you through this, and or a medical professional or a nutritionist. Um, Number 2 would be to make a list of your worry thoughts and add a percentage as to how likely are those to happen. Challenge those thoughts. Number 3 would be getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. So challenging yourself behaviorally, setting small goals for yourself so that you can constantly be challenging yourself. And so you chip away at that anxiety bully. Okay. And number 4 is practice relaxation strategies daily until they become a habit. Number 5 is serve and volunteer. Change the focus, change the frame of reference from yourself to others. And that is how we move through social anxiety and become more comfortable with being in social situations. All right, so I hope that has been helpful. You are very welcome, Kita. All right, so I have a few announcements. Today. Let's go over my announcements. Now, we have our Rise Station podcast. So if you have not already subscribed, subscribe to that channel so that you can get updates every Monday. We post a new episode at 7 a.m. So make sure that you're there. This week's episode was moving from victim to victor. Moving from victim to victor. So getting out of that victim mindset and taking back your power and becoming victorious over the trauma and past hurts that you've dealt with. So Rise Station, and you'll know because there's a big picture of me. So go ahead and subscribe. Now we will be moving away from the lives, Rise and Reset lives, and publishing content strictly to that platform in the next 4 weeks. So I definitely want you guys to be on that platform so that you can stay connected with mental health and wellness content that we post. So definitely want you to be a part of that. The next announcement that I have is that, let's see, if you are not a part of our newsletter, that's the hub of everything that we do. That is the one place that you can get information. We also give you tips right in your inbox, and we let you know what the schedule is for the podcast and the lives. So you definitely want to be a part of that. Um, you can sign up for our email at www.restorativefamilyservices.com and be placed on our email list. So don't forget to do that. Let's see. We are accepting new clients. If you are local, meaning in Pennsylvania, and looking for a therapist, our team of clinicians are here to help. We definitely are here to support you. So you can actually schedule a call with our admin team right from our website as well, www.restorativefamilyservices.com. And let's see, I saw something come through. So Jenny says, is the podcast on all platforms or just a specific one? That's a great question. Podcast is on all platforms: Google, Amazon, Spotify, Apple. You'll find me on all platforms. So definitely want to connect. And I will actually post on our Facebook page as well. Since you guys are here, I'll post all the links there. So it's easy for you guys just to click and get connected. All right. All right. So I will. Okay. I'm just reading my notes, making sure that I got everything. All right. So you guys know what time it is. It is time for our riddle. This is the second opportunity for you guys to win a $5 Amazon e-gift card. So I'm going to ask Kim, Spencer, Thamar, and Chantel to withhold your answers so that we allow someone else to win a prize. All right, here we go, guys. What is always in front of you but cannot be seen? Always in front of you but cannot be seen. Always in front of you but cannot be seen. Did I stump you guys? Are you thinking? Ooh, Reba Cole got it. Congratulations, Reba. Yep. She came in clutch with that. Future. Yes, Reba, you are correct. It's always in front of you, but cannot be seen. All right. Congratulations, Reba, Chantel, Thamar, and Kim Spencer. Thank you so much for riding and vibing with me. We are going to close right now, but I want to leave you with this. I want you guys to have a great day on purpose. All right. Till next time. Take care.